Warframe has released a new Warframe, and I love her so much. I've not actually played her, but as a Volt main, I love her concept, her execution, and just watching other people play it. She seems so fucking fun. But there's one main issue with Gyre, and that's, pardon my French. She has no skins, and like that makes complete sense. She was just released as of like Wednesday. That's not even a week ago, and by that I mean spending my money on virtual cosmetics that don't actually apply to the actual game mechanics and don't do anything besides make me look pretty like a trans flag mech, which is exactly what I just dressed my which is exactly how I dressed my Volt. And like she has one different helmet that looks really fucking nice. I'll admit that I love how it looks so good and complements her design. I like the designs that are just skins that you can tell it's that character, complete spin on their look. I was inspired to make this specific skin from my friend Cool Kid because before she was even released, he kept calling her Ballora the Warframe because she's a ballerina and that's what she's themed after, as well as Tesla coils, but that's not important to the Ballora part. So I made a Fnaf inspired Warframe skin. What is my life coming to? I decided to take this in a way of like, what if this was actual concept art for the game? Because I've been looking at a lot of Warframe concept art, because as an artist, it's fun to look at other people's art and how they make it, especially professionals who know what they're doing versus me who just is like, haha, pretty woman, I draw. And yeah, so I made a skin design, and I'm going to take you through my process of making it. This will be split into two sections, the rough concept and then the final concept drawing. And I even came up with some lore for it. I know Warframe designs, like for the skins, don't have lore most of the time. I guess there's Umbra, but I guess he's a special case, and the Primes also kind of have lore. I don't know, I just know more or less the main Warframes have their own lore. I thought it'd be fun to make my own spin on it, especially because I've not completed all the quests. I don't know all the story yet, and as my friends say, I kind of skip a lot of dialogue while playing the game and get distracted easily, because I'm busy looking for my next place to go versus the story of the game, so this might not align completely with Warframe lore. Ignoring that, we are going to go to the speed draw of the rough concept, and then during the final concept, I will read out my lore writing. Good? Everyone got it? Do I have to explain anything else for you guys? Yeah, this is recorded at 3 AM with no script, so I hope this doesn't sound like utter trash. But yeah, let's go. So I cut out the part where I made the pose for this drawing, as I feel it's not important. I just wanted a pose that would get the personality of the skin, because I still wanted this to be recognizable as Gyre, or Gyre? I'm gonna say Gyre because that's what I've been told it is, but I've not actually heard like a dev say it. I've just heard one friend say the name. And I wanted a like performer kind of pose. Originally it was supposed to be just like a ballerina pose, but you'll see eventually I put the hand behind the back, which I know is kind of an artist trope, but like, and then her hand's more like showmany ta-da versus ballerina's hand being out like while they're dancing. I don't know, I don't do dance. Why am I talking about the pose? I'm here to talk about the art. So my main concept was taking aspects of Ballora and putting them onto Gyre. Most notably, I had a motif that I really love of trying to cut things in half, of course, because the animatronics have like that splitting head effect, which I didn't do fully because you'll see in the screen they're still like just a normal, or not screen, the like lens for the eyes. I also made this like little top thing to kind of replicate the bun, and to replicate Ballora's weird titty things she got. It's just these like loops that I eventually do color purple, kind of circled the titties as like, I guess that was also kind of in Gyre's normal thing. Some Warframes have weird looking boobs. You ever noticed that? Then my second favorite thing about her design is that her middle part looks like a corset, and I wanted to keep that. Cosmetically, makes sense and looks good, and I wanted to keep that aspect, but still change it around so it's not exactly the same. Like in the final product for this concept sketch, it was kind of like a down and diagonal. Eventually I do just make it a crisscross, which I think originally I was trying to do. That's why I changed it to in the final render. And also her skirt was so fun. I messed up saying that the corset was my favorite part. No, this was my favorite part to do. It was obviously just like a ballerina tutu, but kind of like split in two halves, one on each side, kind of like her dress now, except shorter. And then to keep that kind of like electricity motif, there the like, of course, vein things she has on her skirt that do get changed quite a lot in the final render. But I like to imagine the little bells that look a lot more mechanical and less like literal bells in the final render. I like to imagine that they like move around with physics and stuff like her dress, except that when they like get too far, a little bolt of electricity like kind of like pulls them back, and it's kind of like electromagnetism, if that makes sense. Because like she's based on Tesla coils, and like that kind of electricity kind of makes sense. Does it really? No, but it makes sense in my brain. Like this was mostly just like, does it look good? Does it make some kind of sense with the character? If so, yes. And then finally at the bottom of the design, the feet, they were probably the easiest to design just because I took the fishnets of Ballora and made them into Warframe style. What are they even? They're kind of like, just like the leg armor piece. I don't know if there's a name for it or not. And they do look very bulky here, but I slimmed them down in the final design. As well as little bells on the feet, kind of like a Tinkerbell kind of thing, because I thought that'd look cute. That's what most of this was, just trying to make a frame that was aesthetically pleasing. It didn't have to make perfect sense as long as it looked good. While this does look really nice in my mind, the final render is probably really nice. I even play around with the concept of like Warframes having 4 colors. plus the 2 extra colors, but I don't actually use those because I don't know how they're implemented. And before we get to the final render, as I don't want to talk about it during the lore reading, I don't know, my cat knocked over, she knocked over something on my desk. I just want to say you'll see a lot of me playing around the colors and a lot of cleanup, as I decided it was very therapeutic to just color by hand rather than fill tool paint bucket. And you know what, sometimes that's what you need. Treat yourself, artist. But yeah, this may seem really rushed and like I'm talking fast, but I'm recording this at 3 a.m. the day before this is due, and I'm trying to stick on schedule. And also I'm just really excited about this because I just finished it like half an hour ago, and I'm really happy with it. So I hope you enjoy the art, hope you enjoy the lore reading, and I do plan on doing more of these skins in the future. Stick to the end, and you'll find out like which ones I plan on doing and what media thing I'm gonna base the skin off of, because I want to keep this concept. It was really, really fun, even if it took 8 hours. So yeah, enjoy this 7 hours of speed paint. The first hour was this sketch you're seeing now, in about a minute and a half, or how long it takes me to finish the reading. So yeah, enjoy! For centuries, humans have used common household tools and turned them into weapons of war. From farming kunai to hand axes, we've always found a way to hurt our fellow man with anything we can get our hands on. But in rare cases, a weapon that would be made to cause death and destruction can be used in a way that sparks joy, such as the story of Gyre, the nightmare ballerina. While the threat of war always hangs over the people of our universe, there is joy that can be found in small pockets dotted around the cosmos. One being a small circus, forever roaming the Earth's surface. Most of their acts were nothing to write home about. Animals playing with balls, clowns doing what clowns do. Something you could see at any other circus. But the star of their show would always make the audience roar in applause. A strange woman made of metal, known simply as the Ballerina. Before every act, they would spread bits of metal and gems around the circus stage, while she stood there, perfectly still, waiting for her cue. As the audience went quiet, the music would begin to play. Chimes of bells and hums of flute would echo as she began to dance. Her movements were always beautiful, a unique set of motions making each show unique in its own right. But the most unique thing about her dance was when the sparks would fly, causing the ground to shimmer an array of colors and lights, each step sending another jolt of electricity around her. It was as if the stars had been brought down from the heavens and placed around her feet. It was beautiful, and as the audience gazed, they would forget their woes, forget their constant fears of war and death, and just be awestruck at the beautiful sight. But all good things must come to an end, and one day as the dance was reaching its finale, a horde of local thugs barged into the circus tents and threatened to kill everyone there unless they handed over everything of value they had. The ballerina stopped as suddenly as she begun, and she turned towards them, more stiff, as if angered. As the crowd panicked and fled, trying to leave the tent, she took a step toward the intruders, the ones who had interrupted her show, and as if a switch was flipped, she killed them, every single one, with as much grace and fluidity as any of her beautiful dances. And as the last one had let out his last breath, the crowd went silent. The fear they came to the circus to escape from once again washed over them, and she knew she was the cause of it. Once a killer, always a killer. So she ran away, hiding in the brush of the nearby forest, never to be seen again. Some say she's still out there. You can hear her humming a tune and the sound of her footsteps as she gracefully dances the night away. But whether she's still there or not, those who saw her last performance will always see her in their nightmares. Yeah, that was the video. It was short, it was very fun to make. I had so much fun writing that lore. Thanks to Cool Kid for giving me an idea. Fun fact, I'm currently watching your stream while recording this, so, in a way, you're in this video too, you just can't be heard if you think about it. I don't know, people don't like these outros, so I'm trying to keep everything short, because people don't like the talky bits, they like the drawy bits. But yeah, I don't have much to say except subscribe, follow, and know that I appreciate your existence. Please keep on existing, and I hope you have a good existence. Bye! Goodbye, hug! You thought I'd forget the reveal of what my next skin idea is, as I have 2 planned, that hopefully I'll actually take a week to make instead of 2 days. So, Rose, play the clip.
ほう、向かってくるのか。
近づかなきゃてめえをぶちのめせないんでな。